Hey guys, what is up and welcome back to another video. As you saw in the last video that I had posted, I finally assembled my short block in my bedroom. I know it's a little weird, but it's the only place that, was warm enough to assemble it at the time. And today I'm finally getting ready to assemble my long block together, so that would be slapping the heads on and putting all the valve covers on and kind of adjusting and seeing what the valve lash on all the cams are, the exhaust and the intake cams as well. So right now I'm in a garage. I finally got my short block out of my bedroom and into a garage and on an engine stand, and I'm going to be assembling and putting the heads on it. So let me show you real quick what I'm currently doing. So as you can see, I have only one head on right now. Sorry for the shitty lighting. It's the only lighting I have right now, so I'm trying to make do with it. Let's see if it'll focus. So yeah, right here, I have one head on, and that is the passenger side head. I have everything torqued down, so I ended up going with the ARP 2000 head studs right there with the nuts and washers. And I just went with an OEM gasket, the head gasket on there, just because I didn't want to purchase anything super expensive, kind of ran out of money. But right now what I am doing is, so I'm taking out each valve in here and then making sure that they're all lubed up. And then I'm kind of cleaning the head surface. That way when I put silicone on it and it, doesn't leak or anything like that. And then I kind of have to polish these cam journals. I know they're kind of shitty and scratched up, so I'd probably take a little bit of like 1,000, 1,200 grit sandpaper and then polish those up. But for the for the head studs, for the don't need it, for the ARP head studs, what you want to do, you want to insert each one and get each actual stud hand tight in there. You don't want to like torque it or anything. Don't use this little notch for torquing. It's just to get it in there, until it bottoms out. But once it bottoms out, you should be good. I would check to see if they're all level with like a straight edge of some kind, if you can find one, and then see if they're all level. Then after that, of course, clean your surface of your short block and the shiny surface of the head as well. Make sure that there's no oil or grease at all, because I promise it will leak if you don't clean it. But after that, don't forget to thread the actual studs themselves with ARP lubricant. That way you can get the proper torque specs for each one. And then of course clean the bottoms of the washers and the tops of the washers. Throw those on. And then don't forget to also put ARP lubricant on the bottom of these ARP nuts right there, just because it allows you to have a much more accurate torque spec when you're actually torquing these down. And the torque sequence for this head, well, for both heads, it doesn't really matter, but this middle one top, middle one bottom, and then you're going to go forward top, and then you're going to go bottom rear, and then you're going to go bottom forward, and then you're going to go top rear. And you're going to do the same sequence, and it starts with 30 foot-pounds, do the same thing, crisscross pattern, and then 60 foot-pounds, same thing, crisscross pattern, and then final torque 90 foot-pounds. So it's really not that hard. Let's get these cam buckets all cleaned up, lubed up, and then all these journals as well. So now that I have all the buckets in here lubed up and then cleaned up, I am going to get my cams ready to drop in here. So what I'm going to want to do is take some brake cleaner to each cam journal in here and then clean it out, top ones as well. And then right in here where the oil passages are, clean those out as well. And then my cams are in here. I know it's kind of hard to see just because there's really bad lighting. But I gotta clean each one of these up, as well as the carriers, the rear carriers, get the journals and the rear carriers cleaned up, and then the whole cams with brake cleaner. So I'm gonna do that real quick just so I can drop them in here in a second. Where'd my assembly lube go? What the hell? Where did I put that shit? Just had it. Oh, I put it back. Look at that. Never mind. Now that I got the exhaust cam in on the passenger side, I'm going to lube up the journals for the intake cam and the buckets as well. I know I forgot to, I didn't have it on the video, on the time lapse or the video before of me putting assembly lube on the exhaust buckets, but I did that. So now I'm going to be moving on to the intake cams in here, grease these up and then slap the actual cam in there, and then we will go on with I guess putting in all the carriers and the carriers on this side as well. So let's do that real quick. So it is now a couple days later actually, and I'm gonna wrap this video up here with getting, you know, the heads installed and the cams lubed up and then the valve covers on. We're gonna move on to, you know, finishing the rest of the work on top of the engine, on the bottom of the engine, like the oil pan, exhaust system. But yeah, I'm gonna wrap it up here. So thanks a lot for watching. Don't forget to comment, like, subscribe, and if you have any questions, put them down in the comments below. Sergey and I will always, you know, get back to you as soon as we can regarding that. So yeah, have an amazing day.